One of my favorite ways to play cozy games is on my iPad. So today I'm going to go through my absolute favorite cozy games to play on your mobile phone or iPad. Now we're going to split the video into 3 different sections, the first of which are going to be games that you can just download from the Google Play Store or App Store. The second set of games are going to be ones that come free if you have a Netflix subscription. And the third set of games are games you can find on Apple Arcade. So unfortunately, if you have an Android phone, that counts you out. First up, we have Stardew Valley. Now I honestly don't think I need to say really anything about this game at this point. We all know it. We all love it, and I honestly think this helped shape what we now know as a modern farming sim. But if you didn't know, you can now play this on Apple and Android devices, so you'll be able to start yet another playthrough of Stardew Valley. Because let's face it, most people will not be buying this for the very first time. But this is definitely a game you want to connect your controller for. Next up, we have Unpacking. Now, full disclosure, this is one of my all-time favorite cozy games, but if you told me there's a game out there that could tell a story simply by unpacking someone's belongings, I wouldn't have believed you. And in fact, this story is so beautifully told that I found myself crying on multiple occasions. And I was honestly shocked how detailed this story is, when the only way to really tell this story is by what items you unpack and where you're allowed to place them. And not only does it tell the story of the woman whose items you're unpacking, but also a ton about who she lives with as well. As I said, one of my all-time favorite games, and this is such a great game for touchscreen controls. Next up, we have Cats and Soup. Now this has to be one of the cutest idle games I have ever seen. And idle games are actually one of my absolute favorite to play on my iPad and iPhone. This will see you amass a huge array of cats that, you guessed it, make soup. And more soup means more money, and you can use that money to purchase even more stations for your cats to work on, and even more cats for you to buy. Honestly, this is adorable, I'm obsessed, and is definitely a must download. Then we have Usagi Shima. This is another idle game, but all about bunnies. In this, you're a caretaker on an abandoned island, tasked with decorating it. And the more you decorate, the more bunnies that will start to appear. And once the word gets out about your bunny paradise, the tourists start to roll in and pay a visit. Again, this is absolutely adorable, and I'm so glad there's a photo mode so you can enjoy each and every one of the bunnies. Then we have Sky Children of the Light. This to me is one of the most breathtaking games on this list. And this is another cozy MMO, which honestly seems to be my favorite genre at the moment. Sky sees you fly through 7 realms in search of spirits, in order to try and return them to the stars. And in doing so, you get to learn a little bit about each of the spirits' story. And the thing that makes this even more wholesome is the interactions with the other players. You can hold hands and fly off into the sunset together, and you can even request a guide to help you find some of the hidden and hard to find spirits. There are constantly new updates and new events to the game, keeping it fresh and making you always want to log in for more. And I've sunk so many hours into this because I absolutely love it. Then we have Good Pizza, Great Pizza, which to me is the perfect game for an iPad and the Apple Pencil. My perfect night in is me sitting on my bed playing Good Pizza, Great Pizza while watching Grey's Anatomy. This is such a fun pizza management game. People come to your store, give you their order, and you simply just make them pizza. And then after each and every day, you can use your earnings to upgrade your equipment, get more pizza toppings, and even buy some items to decorate your entire store. Now, I know people often attribute restaurant games with stress, but despite there being a kind of time limit to each day, it somehow still remains cozy. Next up, we're going to talk about some of the games you can get with your Netflix subscription. I didn't even know this existed until recently, but if you already have Netflix, these are kind of free. First up, we have Terra Nil. This is an environmental strategy game that sees you transform barren landscapes into a thriving ecosystem filled with life. This will see you turn dead soil into large grassy landscapes, clear polluted water, grow marshlands and huge forests, and ultimately try and create the ideal home for wildlife to once again thrive in. Essentially making this the reverse of a city builder. And I personally love the fact that each level teaches you a little bit more about what we need to do to try and save this planet. Then we have Oxenfree 1 and 2, and this is definitely for the creepy cozy game lovers, because I know you all exist and need more games. This is a narrative thriller that sees you play as Alex, who, along with their friends, unwittingly open a ghost gate, and how you react to these supernatural events will determine every single character's fate. And the thing that made this so hard to put down is the fact that their fate largely relies on how you interact with each and every character. The story in this game is absolutely fantastic, and the voice acting is incredible. And personally, I'd say this isn't really scary in like a gory or jump scares way. It's more just overall creepy and kind of keeps you on edge. And to me, the more you care for each of these characters, the more every decision matters. But this is definitely the type of game I like to play in broad daylight. Then we have Spiritfarer. This is widely renowned as one of the best cozy games out there. And this is a beautiful yet heartbreaking cozy management game. And it's centered around ferrying spirits to the afterlife. This will see you farm, fish, mine, and cook, all the while upgrading your boat to house more spirits. The game gives you enough time with each spirit to truly get to know them. You will get to learn all about the life they lived and their aspirations, making the moment you finally have to say goodbye equally as beautiful as it is heartbreaking. This is definitely a game where the message it sends you sticks with you long after you hit the credits, and honestly, it's incredible. Then we have Layers Horizon. This is an absolutely gorgeous game that sees you glide through different breathtaking biomes, giving you different objectives to fill while you fly that help you on your way. This is not only a great game for iPad, but it's also perfectly made for mobile phone as well, and I cannot recommend it enough. And then to finish us off, we have the Apple arcade games. And to me, these are some of the strongest games on the list. First up, we have Mini Motorways. This is a game I've spent far too much time on, and this is basically a minimal city planner, with you needing to connect roads to make a traffic network. As each level continues, you'll have more and more cars to contend with, making an ever-growing city. And the nice thing is, if the challenge mode is not for you, there's also a stress-free endless mode, which is my personal favorite to play. And this relaxing gameplay, coupled with its music, is the perfect game to play before bed. Then we have Hello Kitty Adventure, and this gives really strong Animal Crossing vibes. But instead of villagers, it's actually the Hello Kitty characters. Now, I have to say, this has one of the best opening scenes I have ever seen in a life sim, as it has a literal snakes on a plane reference. But essentially, this sees you crash land on an island, and it's up to you and your adorable character, which you get to fully customize in Hello Kitty style, to track down each and every one of the villagers and carry out quests for them. The quests aren't particularly difficult, they're mostly simple fetch quests, but that's one of the reasons I absolutely love it. This is honestly a charming game, and the dialogue is so unexpectedly witty all the time. This honestly needs to come to the Switch ASAP. Then we have Wildflowers, which is one of my absolute favorite life/farming sims. And that's because this has some of the most fleshed out NPCs I have ever seen. And what makes them truly come alive is the fact that they are all fully voice acted. In this, you'll play as Tara, who, after being dumped and losing her job, moves into her grandmother's farm to take care of her. And once you've started to settle down and think you've got this whole farming sim life figured out, you find out that your gran is a witch, and she invites you to join her coven, with the story becoming a beautiful mix between learning how to become a witch, but also taking care of your farm. And although originally I found it a little bit odd to be playing a farming sim not as myself, this actually turned out to be one of the reasons I fell in love with the game, as it allowed the story to really come alive. And the fact that this is still receiving constant updates makes it even better. Then we have Sneaky Sasquatch, where you see yourself running around a park that allegedly has treasure buried somewhere inside of it. And in order to get to it, you need to find all 8 pieces of the treasure map in hopes of saving the park you live in. The only thing is, you're actually a Sasquatch, and you will have to sneak around, do different tasks to earn money, and then spend the money on things to help you out with your future tasks. The only thing is, if you get caught, you'll be thrown out of the park. So some of these things you'll need to buy will be disguises to try and allow yourself to walk around amongst the people. This is actually one of the highest rated Apple Arcade games, and I think the real question is, when will they bring this to the Switch? And to finish off this list, we have Alba. This is a beautiful game all about the change a single person can make to the world, no matter their size. In this, you play as Alba as she visits her grandparents on a Mediterranean island. But instead of spending her time relaxing, she decides to take action after coming across an animal in danger. And you'll follow her as she ventures across the island, cleaning up litter and starting a movement to save the island. This is definitely a feel-good game, and it's absolutely charming. Those are my top picks for mobile and iPad, but if you want to see more cozy games to look forward to, click at this video here.